All right, here's a guy who never had to count flowers on the wall because he's always too busy. The president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, David Chartrand. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing very well, Ray, and just can't believe that little bit breeze, how it makes you feel so cool, and when then it stops and the heat just nails you hard. So
yeah,
I tell you, as people, you never seem to stop complaining. It's too hot, too cold, you know.
You wait till February.
I wish I was back in July.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's maybe start off with congratulating again the graduates across our province, Métis and non-Métis. It's such a proud day for most parents, grandparents, and others. We celebrated my baby's graduation yesterday, and well attended by so many. Drive-by. I want to thank all those that stopped by to say hello and congratulations and thank her. She's in grade 8, of course. Now moving to high school, grade 9 to 12, and
wow,
she's a little bit panicky about that because now she's with a bunch of older students, you know. So I said, we taught you to stand up for yourself and always be proud of who you are. So I said, Don't be scared of nothing. So she had a good time yesterday, and Doreen really spoiled her and set up the yard nice, and it was very nice. I was so proud of her, and we took beautiful pictures to remember this. And told her to save her graduation dress, and she's grade 12. She can wear it again. So, but anyways, all the graduates out there, I hope somehow, I know some way your parents try to spoil you in their own way, and I hope you had a good time. And I know our regions went out of their way to make sure you got some packages and some money and some other gifts to say how proud we are of you as the Métis government. And it's just a proud day for everybody when we know our young from kindergarten on are moving into university, that they're moving on to the next level, you know, in life, and it makes you proud. Because that's supposed to be our next leaders of tomorrow. So on Canada Day, we had put up the Canadian flag at my house, and we again take time to reflect, and we took our time. We talked about some of the stuff that's happening, of course, everywhere, and I want to start off also by thanking all those dressed in orange, and I was so proud watching hundreds upon hundreds, even thousands, over 1,000 probably, walking down on Portage Avenue right towards the ledge, and it was so nice to see so many orange shirts all collaborating together. I think it was 3 different groups, and they all connected together at the end, and it was so beautiful to see just the power that they're sharing their really, I guess, compassion to those that are feeling the pain out in different parts of our country that have gone through, of course, this horrible, horrific time in our history, and it's great to see all the people getting together, all races, and of Métis, non-Métis, First Nation, especially a lot of First Nation. I want to commend them all that went out there to express again their message that this can't be forgotten. History can't be changed, but it cannot be forgotten either, and we need to help those and show them that we care for those that are in mourning. And as I said, we talked about it in my house and explained that to our baby, what this means and what it's all about. Unfortunately, of course, you have a big crowd like that. Sometimes some people get carried away, and they did get carried away and ripped down some statues and Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth. And, I was kind of disappointed in that because it takes away from what the message was, right? And then all of a sudden the story's all about the 2 statues now, not about the children that are still be found out in this world. And all over Canada, there'll be more grace to be found, right? And there'll be more pain, there'll be more hurt. And that's what the message is all about. It's a reflection of that sad history, but at the same time, how are we changing the future? We can't change history, but we can change the future. So I was just disappointed when I seen that happening, and people get emotional and they get carried away. And but unfortunately, now the story's changed, right? And then people have a different perspective of this whole issue. They start saying, "Well, I'm not going to support this anymore," and there's other people out there who have different perspectives. And even historically, Ray, people don't realize Queen Victoria under Germain monarchy. She's definitely, we can never say that the monarchy was the best for Indigenous people. But one thing I can say in historical evidence is that during Queen Victoria's Germain monarchy, when she was in charge, Johnny MacDonald, of course, was taking the land from Hudson Bay, was buying it, and in my view, the monarchy had no right to give it to Hudson Bay. But however that happened in history, you can't change that, for the fur trade. But then Hudson Bay ended up saying they own the land, and they're going to sell it now. They're going to actually sell it to Canada, Upper Canada. Canada was not Manitoba West. Manitoba wasn't even there yet. And so they're going to sell it, and it was the monarchy said, no, we're not, because they heard of the uprising of the Métis. And, of course, there was a war going on, and the First Nations we're a very small population, and we're a big population of 10,000. And there was several hundred First Nations here in Manitoba left because they went through so much horrific time in their history with the country trying to exterminate them completely out, eliminate them from existence. And so when you look at history, it's been a long, arduous journey. But the Queen, the monarchy, made it very clear, we're not going to sell you the land, Canada. We're not going to allow a transaction between Hudson Bay and yourself unless you do a treaties with the Indigenous people. You settle this uprising. So the monarchy did that part. That's one thing we got to give credit to. Credit is due, you give credit. Mm-hmm. And because imagine if Queen Victoria didn't do that during her monarchy, John McDonald wouldn't have. He's got the British Army. He would have marched right through and killed as many people as they wanted. They wouldn't even negotiate no treaty. No Manitoba Act, and we don't know what the West would have looked like.
Right.
We could have been Americans, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it from that context, there is some evidence of some gratitude that's deserving, and others, I guess, will feel differently. But at the end of the day, you got to give credit when credit's due, and I'm not afraid to give credit when credit's due. But so at the end of the day, it's good to learn a little bit about history. And as I said in the Sun newspaper, for that brief moment, there was a lot of victorious feelings in your heart and your mind when you ripped down those statues. But at the end of the day, that emotion's gone now, and now the story is switched a little bit nationally and internationally. It's about the statues when it should be about the children, and yet the other children yet to be found in the future. So that was my message on that, Ray. And then it happens, people get too pumped up and then they get carried away, right?
Right.
So, but unfortunately, hopefully we'll get the narrative straight. We'll get the narrative back to what it is. It's about the children. There'll be more grace to be found. There'll be more suffering, more pain in many families that'll happen in this country. We haven't heard yet from the East, and that is yet to come. So, but let me go down to some happy birthdays now. Happy birthday to Arlene Desjardins, who's celebrating her 53rd birthday on July 3rd, and happy birthday to Al Desjardins, who's celebrating his birthday on Thursday. He didn't say his age, July 8th. He's probably 85 or 89 now, or Al Desjardins. I don't know what he is. He's probably like 65. I don't know what he is. And it might even maybe I better not say 65. I don't know how old Al is. Anyways, also to Harn Lasham, the owner of Grassroots newspaper. He's listening right now at home. He said he listens every week to us, and of course he does commercial fishing, and he owns the Grassroots newspaper, and I always give him credit. Crane River boy, come all the way from there, went to school, worked in the mines or in the oil fields, and comes home, and here he is, eventually creates a new pathway in life and starts a newspaper, and it's been around at least 25 years or more. So I want to give him credit to him and his drive to never giving up. And Grassroots is still a popular newspaper for all Indigenous people. It's province-wide, and he even delivers it across the province. So It's his birthday today, and I hope he got his chicken. I sent him chicken today. I hope he got it, and he's cheering for us here in Métis Hour. But happy birthday again to you, Arnold. A very good friend of mine. Anniversary is going out to Muriel and Lori Parker. I hope they're listening out in Swan River. And it doesn't really say how much it is here. It's quite high. Anyway, high numbers are high in the 30s at least. Their wedding anniversary is July 2nd. That's the same time we got married, Gordon and I. And it's our anniversary, too, our 10th anniversary, which I spoiled her yesterday. And we had a good laugh then because she was so focused on baby's graduation. And, because she wanted it to be such a memorable time for my baby. Mm-hmm. And that she'll always have great pride in achieving up to grade 8 and knowing there's more to be achieved in the future. So she spent all of her energy on that. And so I got the gifts. She thought I forgot, and I went and got the gifts and everything. Thank God for Amanda for reminding me. So anyways, I admit it. She told me, I bet you Amanda told you not to forget. So anyway, because I said, okay, where's my gift? Oh, yeah. I'll get it tomorrow, she said, right?
You got her.
I got her finally after all these years. Anyways, it was great. It was a great feeling to celebrate our 10th anniversary. So again, thank all those for their kind words and messages and texts.
Well, happy anniversary from us too.
Thank you very much, Ray. Now you probably heard of some announcements I made. We made an announcement with Canada. It was such an important aspect. However, the announcement was, I think, fitting for what it is that we're trying to do. And when we deal with the environment, we talk about the heat today and how hot it is. Yeah. And it is very, very hot, of course. And if you look at Lytton at 46.6, the broke Canadian history, and it tells you right then and there, that the environment is starting to touch us and tap into our everyday life, and it's going to get a little bit more scarier in this, I think. And we need to be cautious about that. We need to do our part. And I made a statement, very clearly there that if you look at history, at our age, Ray, we could have done probably a lot more for the environment, but we really, I think, growing up, didn't see this. We weren't educated about it. We weren't told about, how important this was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't on our everyday language. Today, it's an everyday language, the environment. So we actually did two things. We signed a program called MELT, MELT. It's Métis Early Learning, Métis Environment Learning Training, and it's actually from K to 12, Ray. It starts from K to 12, from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. We plan to work with about 250 students a year and teaching them about the importance of the environment, whether it's taking them about camping, or whether teaching them about plants and just the water bottles, the damage they do, and they're scary. If you look in different parts of the world, there's millions of them floating in the ocean, so they're causing a lot of harm to fish and the environment overall. So the carbon is just continuing to grow, and we need to figure out how do we stop the carbon growth from happening. So we that program was very, very important to sign with Canada, and I was very, very pleased. I just can't say enough I told very clearly my statement is that if we don't start with the kindergarten up, they're the generation that's inherited this. Now we got to start teaching them at a very young age why it's important to keep the environment as a priority in your everyday life.
Right.
And teaching them what you can do to make a difference. So that program is going to go very, very well. I think it's a 5-year program, and I anticipate, I said, 250 kids. The 1,500 kids our goal. 250 kids a year, and from all ages. And I look forward to many of the parents and participating at the same time, and relatives and other kids that want to join. But it'll be across the province, and I look forward to doing our part on that. So then we also announced the retrofitting of our building. It was quite a important factor. The building was built in 1959. I think was established or finished in 1959. Started. I think I'm trying to find it in my answer here. It's here somewhere in my answer. But in 1959, the building, I think, was completed. And from there, we've moved in there. We bought it in 2000. And ever since then, it's been a very remarkable building for us. It's a solid building. And, there it is. It started in 1957, complete in 1959. But the building is the same building. The windows are the same. They're the older-fashioned windows. They're not environmental friendly. So we made an application with Canada, and we got $3.5 million for retrofitting the building.
Wow.
We're putting up $1.5 million. That's the MMF. So we're going to spend $5 million on the building. We're going to put solar panels on the east wall, and there'll be decorative solar panels, and you'll be able to put signs and maybe even a sash on it, and it's going to be beautiful. But there'll be solar panels to heat up the building, our offices,
right.
And so that's going to be important. See, we're changing all the windows, and we're changing some of the boiler systems inside there, because that's back in, again, the 50s. And so we're going to reconstruct the building to be more carbon friendly. And we believe, Ray, I think we'll take about close to 2,000 cars by 2050 off the road.
Wow.
So that's a lot of cars. And we'll take 60 cars potentially a year off the road. So we're looking forward to doing our part, and that's retrofitting. Those are small examples. Even the houses we're building, we're doing very environmentally friendly buildings and houses we're building. So that's very important to do. Plus, we're doing the 2 million trees, Ray. We're going to plant 2 million trees.
Wow.
And we're trying to start soon. We are going to start our greenhouses. We got a couple of applications with Canada right now. And if they don't fund it, the MMF will still go ahead. And but we are going to plant 2 million trees. And those 2 million trees will do a lot of help in fighting carbon as they grow into of course, people don't realize, and some people don't. A lot of people are starting to realize now how important the trees are and the plants are in fighting carbon and the oxygen that we need in our planet. So we need to stop the green zone from expanding itself, and of course the sun finding its way through there. And this is what happens. You get these high temperatures of heat. Also, Riding Mountain, we made an announcement. Riding Mountain, we got all the parks. We got the free passes. Our Métis card will be eligible to be used as a pass to go free into the Riding Mountain National Park. You can go into the Lower Ale House, Lower Fort Garry, historical sites, different parts of Manitoba, and you just use your Métis MMF card, and it's free. You don't have to pay anymore. Wow. So that program's till 2025, but it doesn't give you the right to go hunting and fishing and riding mountains and trapping and so forth. But it gives you the right to go and enjoy the beautiful nature that takes place in these national parks.
What a smart move.
So We're also taking part in taking over the court worker program. I used to be the director of that, Ray, many, many months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the MKO is also part of it and 2 other First Nation structures. There'll be 4 of us in total. MKO, Southern Chiefs, and the Island Lake Tribal Council and MMF will be taking our parts of the program, and we'll be doing the court worker program running right from our own government. So that's a good transition, and I'm very, very proud of that, and I look forward to that. So we also, people keep on hearing, they read a lot of stories on it. The papal visit, the papal visit is still happening with the Pope, and we're getting closer and closer to finalizing our names, and that'll be going. And we're going to take some, of course, from our cabinet will be going, and we'll be taking some other citizens that'll be traveling with us to Rome. There'll be only 8 of us that will meet from the Métis Nation, which will meet with the Pope, and we'll bring back the message from the Pope directly to Canada. And our goal, all of us, First Nations, the Inuit, and the Métis, are to try to entice the Pope to come to Canada and start the healing process by praying in the soils of the Indigenous people in this country. So I think hopefully we're convincing to him to come here, and we look forward to him coming out here. We got to remember, I know people say, well, he should come automatically. Well, we're a very small population in Catholic in Canada now versus the world. And if you look at our countries, they're massive, about 1 million. So we got to do our part, and I'm sure the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit will do our part in trying to convince him to come into our country and do the right thing by bringing his apologies and clearly setting the tone of the healing. We also had a first minister, what's really not a first minister's meeting, it's the Indigenous leaders, the AFN, MNC, and ITK, along with the federal, provincial, and territorial leaders, ministers across Canada. It was regarding the dialogue, protecting and conserving our nature, and the knowledge of sharing, of how do we start an action plan to protect all of the Crown lands and the nature of utilizing those lands. So it was a very well discussed meeting. We had the elders there opening the ceremony, and I was there, of course, representing the Métis Nation and echoing again our strong belief in many areas being protected. If you look at Blueberry Patch and Kettle Hills, we want to put that as a protected zone. We've been going there for generations and generations and generations, and we want to make sure that that place is always available to our people and that it's protected because we know farming's gotten really close to it, and we're very concerned about it. And there's other historical sites we want to protect. So that was a very important meeting for us to echo our views on that. So we have a cabinet meeting on July 5th, Ray. I can't announce what it's for, but it's going to be a very powerful announcement the following day, an historical announcement between ourselves. Canada's flying into Manitoba, and that'll be taking place on Tuesday. I'll report all of it on Saturday. It's an historical meeting. It's a major change in the way that we will be looked upon as a Métis government, and it's something I think every Métis citizen will be so proud of. Our youth and our people in universities and colleges, I'm sure they're going to be so proud to know of this event that's taking place on Tuesday. Unfortunately, it's an embargo. I can't speak on the exact name of the event because I have to keep it until Tuesday. But cabinet's meeting on Monday, just to tell you how important it is. It's an emergency cabinet meeting. They're coming in, and we will be signing a very historical document on Tuesday. And I'm just going to be a proud leader. I'm still alive to be growing our government, strengthening our government, and making what it always has been a true Métis government. So Ray, that'll be a big announcement. Of course, Tuesday, you're probably all over the newspapers.
Yep.
And you can check our website. Anybody listening right now, next Saturday, I'll give a full report of it, and I'm sure, like me, you'll be so proud of your Métis government, your cabinet, and just all of our local leaders and regional leaders that make such a big difference to make our government so strong and accountable to so many. So also July 8th and 9th, we're having our traditional cabinet meeting that'll be taking place in Winnipeg, and of course some will be joining us by Zoom. We're still under that watch right now. So much can only gather, and that's another factor we got to take into consideration. But sooner and better, we're getting better. But COVID is still out there, you guys. Please take caution to it. Take heed to it. Don't say, to hell with it. I know some of the younger generation has said that. The majority of the younger generation, like my granddaughter, they're saying, I want my second shot. And I'm so proud that my baby Ron didn't get his second shot, and he needs one right away. Of course, he's more challenged than anybody else, and he's on the list right now at the Federation to get his second shot. And he's 13, and of course, he's very ill. and I hope he gets the second shot soon. So, but otherwise, we had it was an attempt at one time, January, we started getting every weekly our share of some of the Pfizer that's coming in, and all of a sudden the province is telling us, well, we're going to give it to you every 2 weeks now. We said, it's unbelievable. We've been waiting so long, now you're trying to change it to every 2 weeks. I said, forget it. Well, we're giving it every pharmacy 2 weeks. I don't care. I said, we're not just a pharmacy. And so they backed away, and they're still giving us every week. So all of our appointments that you get that's listening, it's guaranteed. They're set up for you. And Ray, it is a very positive experience by so many. And I think all the staff, the nursing that's taking place, assisting us, and all the health staff that are there working with us to get those needles in the arms of our citizens. And I encourage all Manitobans, get your first dose, your second dose. I told that to Rainey out in St. Pierre, out in St. George, and he's practically fully blind. And I convinced him to come all the way to Winnipeg to come and get his shot, and he did, and they're so proud of him. So, again, all those people out there, again, thank you very much for supporting the Métis government. We'll always be there to make your government proud and strong, and that's something that I live every day, Ray. I wake up every day for that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to, again, Tuesday. It's something we've been working on for many years, and I wish Al, for those that may not know, my chief of staff is in hospital right now. He had an operation.
What? And
I'm sure he's going to be okay, but it's always a worry when you get in for an operation.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting cancer, so they think they'll have it under control. And I pray to God and everybody else to get my chief of staff back healthy. And he plays a very important role in our government and always has. And he's one of the leaders in these negotiations. And I look forward to him coming out of the hospital. He won't be there. He's going to miss it, but he'll be on video. He'll watch it in the hospital. And I just look forward to him getting back into things and where he can be a little bit more confident now that the cancer has been set back a little bit, So cancer got a hold of him, and but they believe they're going to have it under control. And so I wish him well, and also wish others that are fighting cancer out there the best. And I hope and I pray that we can get the services. I know COVID has stolen so much from the hospital staff, and I just wish people out there who are fighting illnesses of all sorts. If there's anything MMF can do, please get a hold of us, and we'll try to do our part to make sure we help you. So, again, take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Saturday. And, again, thank you. Happy anniversary to my wife yesterday. And I'm very, very proud I have one up on her, Ray. I got her.
Yeah, you got her.
So, okay, guys, take care and enjoy it. And be careful with the heat today, Ray.
All right, for sure. You too, David.
Okay, take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Okay, that's David Chartrand, of course, the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, with his weekly report on Métis Matters, keeping us busy as ever. Yeah. Way to go, David.